summarize this
When I
bad
saw
boy.
this, maybe I'm a little feverish, but I thought it meant people were getting their faces inspected.
You're not
You may
completely...
be a little feverish, Doug. That's pretty
Well, no,
hilarious.
dude. You're not totally wrong.
This is the one I didn't read. I didn't see this on the first list.
That's
so
right, because
you're all in.
Mover is like, you need to talk about this. So Air Combat Command boss calls out discernible decline in standards. So basically, to summarize the article, he wants to bring back inspections.
Okay.
Right. 80,000 airmen. We're going to have uniform inspections. We're going to check your facial hair and make sure you're within regs. You know, I read this and I'm thinking like, okay, boot camp style or OCS style inspections where we're all lined up in our uniforms and they've got the ruler out there doing their thing. Yeah, there it is. Customs and courtesies, just basic training kind of stuff. And
Sure.
good order and discipline is important in the military. You have to have that. Yes. And then like Doug's highlighting
the Air
the good
Force
stuff
is
here.
awesome. I love the Air Force. This is right after massage school for flight school, right?
The Air Combat Command Surgeon General developed a shaving education course to help airmen understand proper medical protocols to reduce irritation caused by shaving. I mean, but these are the things that, in my mind, take away from the mission. The mission's already suffering, right? Recruitment and retention is already suffering. And here the air boss is, hey, this is going to be a priority of mine. This is going to be a focus of mine. And I just don't understand. Sometimes, man, I sit and scratch my head like, where is the disconnect, dude? Like, yeah, there you go. Most Air Force members want to do fulfilling work like deter conflict or crush our adversaries in aerial combat. Grooming standards are a pretty basic expectation in the U.S. military. It's disappointing that we have to waste time on enforcing them. An Air Force officer with experience told ACC. 100%. So, dude, big Air Force, top leadership. You need to listen to your middle level management. Like, hey, guys, what do you need? You know what they need? They need equipment that's serviceable and that has
like airplanes, not Gillette razors.
Correct. That
okay.
They need,
just want to be clear.
Equipment that they can use in realistic training. They need money to train, opportunities to train. They need less. In the Air Force, there's a word for it, and it's called creep, which I love it, which is just, remember, they got rid of it in the Navy. Remember NKO, Navy Knowledge Online?
Oh, yeah.
So there's just a ton of stuff. It's almost like white noise that you have to do. And it, over time, it's way worse now. I mean, even when I left the Navy, it was way worse than when I first joined the Navy. So you've got SEALs, pilots, doctors, skippers. I mean, people who are hard workers want to do the mission, but they can't because guess what? You're not going to be able to log into your computer unless you do cybersecurity because that's super important. Oh, sorry, you're on a ship and connectivity is kind of crappy. Sorry. Don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Yeah. Guess can't log on and do your mission, right?
Yeah. Dude, so, I agree. I think, well, first of all, and somebody brought up in comments, and I was thinking it too, is this whole article kind of is interesting to me because it insinuates that inspections stopped and went away. Like, so why aren't we doing certain levels of, and I know why, I know the answer now that I think about it, but it's like, so we've gotten away from it at one point, which is bad because part of being in the military is being uniform and being a member of a team and working together and doing all that. So you've already strayed from that core value that now you want to bring it back. Well, you don't bring it back during a time when morale is horribly low. You're not giving your people, your men and women, what they need to do their job. The retention is god awful. You're doing, I mean, just to plug another video, calling your people terrorists because they get out after their commitment. I mean, come on. Like at some point, you get to a point here where it's like, dude, force through the trees, bro. Like, and it goes back to what I said, like, the turds that are floating in military leadership right now, I know there's great ones out there because if there isn't, we would not be on an American YouTube channel speaking American. We'd be speaking another language and we would have been taken over. So there's enough good leadership out there, but they need to stand up and do something about it and fix all this BS and go, look, what is the mission? What is the training objective? How are we going to obtain it? Like, take away all the noise, take away all the fluff, and go back to the freaking basics. And that's what I think we need to do right now in a lot of places, but the military being one of them.
Yeah, and honestly, even in the Air Force, I mean, there are, if the boss thinks that there is a grooming and just general standards issue, pretty much in the Navy, your chiefs are the ones that are
Oh,
supposed to handle that, and they will handle it. And then,
oh
you
yeah.
know, in the Air Force, you got
If
senior
you
enlisted as
allow
well.
them to handle it, though, that's
Correct.
the thing. If you don't employ them to handle it, they can't. Because if
Right.
they're so bogged down, worried about doing their damn cybersecurity,
Right. Well, hey, I mean, you know, over the years, I would say power to middle management. In the Air Force, there's almost no power in middle management.
well, the Navy, they lost it too.
They've gutted it a lot, right? So
Yeah.
everything goes straight to the top, right? Skipper gets fired, right? No matter what it is. You know, Airman cut his finger, problem with the culture and the command, skipper fired,
Yeah.
right? Commander fired.
Yeah.
So, you know, there needs to be, if you want to fix these kind of problems, you need to put the power back into your senior enlisted.
Mhm.
And because honestly, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I was the perfectly groomed fighter pilot.
You were not. I'll say that you were not.
So
Your
in
lamb
my,
chop sideburns
Right.
did not fit Navy regs.
so I got talked to by a senior chief on numerous occasions about my sideburns being too long, which being a
They
little,
were.
and they were 100%. He was right. And being a cocky, arrogant fighter pilot that I was back then, I labeled him as senior sideburns, and I trimmed him up, you know. But I went halfway, right? He wanted them up, you know, regs, and I went halfway.
That's called establishing dominance as an officer. Well played.
That's just called being a jerk, right? So,
but again, that's part of the game, though. Like you both got a little bit of what you want.
But he had the power, and he knew that if he went to my skipper and said, "Hey, I told Gonky to cut his damn sideburns," because guess what? All my troops in my shop who are 3 years out of basic and they're wrenching on these airplanes, they want to have sideburns as long as him. And he's got him, you know, we're all
and
under
I
the same.
guarantee you, your skipper was like, "Damn right, senior chief."
Yeah.
And I'll talk to him if he doesn't fix it.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about with putting power back into middle management, basically. And you know, that stuff will fix itself. But dude, don't waste everyone's time.
No, this does not need to be a flag level. Like, come on, man. Like that's so
crazy.
God help us if that's what they're focused on. Like they need to be focused on like strategic big. Oh,
yeah, number one problem.
We need them shaving better.
Like shaving. I know. Yeah,
that's crazy. Interesting.